You know what? Sometimes people can be so clever in their in hiding their ulterior motive that it might seem believable. And I'll expound on that a little bit more when I come back. But yeah, I found this article where CNN interviewed the twin sister. I found the article about a couple of months, no, last month. So I decided to do it today, and I'm gonna tell you one of the reasons why I did it. Went ahead and did the article. Okay, let's talk about it when I come back. Hey YouTube, what's up folks? What's up subscribers and non-subscribers that watch these contents on this channel but haven't subscribed? I ain't tripping off of you, but your subscription and your support, like commenting, sharing, all that helps. But anyway, check this out. Like I said, I found this article about a month ago after I did the last article on the twins. You know, the update they gave us, coming to the conclusion, well, telling us that they have gathered evidence and came to the conclusion that the twins unalived each, themselves. I was just so disgusted and done. I was disgusted and done. Not saying if I had found anything else that I wanted to bring to you guys, or felt that you wanted to know about the subject, I would have, continue to do videos, or do videos when I received information or saw information. But other than that, after that last update, I did the video last month, I believe, when they finally came out with the final conclusion, that was the last video I planned to do. I did reach out to the family on Facebook. I never got a response, so I don't know if Facebook is still doing that thing where if you're not friends with the person, your message goes to spam or nowhere land. I don't know if they're still doing that because I don't really do Facebook like that. But I never got a response. So, as I said, I didn't plan to continue doing videos talking about the twin, because first of all, it's heartbreaking whether they unalive themselves or not, which from comments and from other videos and news clippings or news channels that talked about it, from the comments I saw, people don't believe it. People don't believe that these young men unalived themselves. They believe something foul happened. It was foul play, and I believe it too. But what made me do this video is I wanted to share what the sister said about her brothers, and two, I wanted to bring attention to this situation because first I was ignoring it because I thought it was BS. So let me discuss this right quick, and then I'm gonna go into the article that I found from CNN. So about a month ago, after I did the last video on the twins, I got an email from YouTube, right? At first it threw me. At first I thought it was fake. And then when I looked at it more, I was like, when I examined it, I was like, oh, okay. So let me read this email to you. I got the first one about a month ago. It says the title is "Need Help? You're Not Alone." And then it basically, I'm going to summarize it. It's saying that YouTube is reaching out to me because members of the YouTube community, including fellow creators, viewers, or staff, have expressed concern for your safety or well-being after coming across content you posted with topics related to self-harm. And the video is got a response today from Georgia Bureau. I did that video months ago. I think in March. And then so I got like several other, about 4 or 5 emails. One email, they supposedly was concerned about the last video I did on the twins, and then another video I did on the twins. So every time the news brought information about this tragedy, I discussed it. So whether I came in with a quick update, a short, or whatever, I brought it to you guys because you guys showed interest in it. And who wouldn't? Even if I wasn't a content creator, I will be interested in it because it sounds very peculiar. It sounds suspicious. It sounds ridiculous. When I got the first email, I was like, what? And I was telling my family, I showed my family members about it, and they was like, So, okay, I'll just let it go. Then the second email came. Then I started getting annoyed. I was like, you know what? I don't know what's going on with this. I don't know if people are really true. First of all, my question is, if you're a content creator and you cover this topic, did you guys get an email like this? 2, are you the people who are supposedly concerned about me covering this topic? Have you shared your concerns with other? Have you been showing concern about other content creators who might have covered this topic? News, the whole national news channels and platforms that cover this topic. CNN covered it. NBC covered it. So are you concerned about them? Or is this some kind of thing you're doing to try to get me to stop talking about it? That's what I'm trying to. And for some reason, my mind keep going back to GBI, the Georgia Bureau of Investigations. Is this somebody from that investigation team trying to flag this video? So that means you would have to flag every video on this platform who talks about it, even the news stations. And you can't do that because it's public knowledge, and people are actually interested in this topic, and some people are concerned about this topic. Just concerned about what happened to the young man and how it really happened. You know what? So I was like, if this is some kind of low down, deceitful, manipulative, like sick way that you're going to try to get me to not talk about this, I'm going to talk about it now. Now, because I was not even going to continue to talk about this topic, but for some reason you're drawing my attention to it. When I get these emails, it's drawing my attention to this topic, dummy. And I really don't believe that anybody is concerned about me, because first of all, I'm sure a lot of adults watch this channel, watch my content. If it's really concerned about me, there's an email attached to this account. Why you can't reach out to me personally? That would be between me and you. If you was really concerned, why would you trust that YouTube? Why would you leave it only up to them to reach out to me about me? Why wouldn't you take the time, if you was truly concerned, and drop me an email yourself? That let me know you're not concerned. That let me know for some unknown reason, maybe I speak too passionately about what I think really happened to these individuals, that I think it was foul play involved and people or someone is covering it up. But what you don't realize is that when you do that and try to shut me up, it has the reverse or the opposite effect. And when I do something from my heart and I'm sincere about it, the God I serve protects me anyway. So if you're trying to do something maliciously to me and my channel and the content I publish, I try to give a lot of people warnings all the time. They don't want to listen. So now maybe you got to see it. But let's get on with this content. Now I'm about to let's talk about the twin sister. And their family and how they feel. Okay. Their relatives in suburban Atlanta nicknamed them the Ding Dong Twins because they moved as one. They were so bound together, like ding dong, said one of their aunts. Mimicking the chime of a doorbell, the 19-year-olds had big plans for the future, including a cruise to celebrate their 20th birthdays and dreams of becoming entrepreneurs. So their family was stunned when the twins were found shot March the 8th at the summit of remote Bell Mountain, about 2-hour drive north of Atlanta. Just the fact that they went to an area that the family say they do not believe they would have any reasons to go there. Investigators at the time said preliminary evidence suggested one of them unalived the other. An outcome their family members refused to believe, that they would never have done that to one another. They had a strong bond. Someone took their lives, and I believe that. I firmly believe that. So thanks to the person or people who was, reaching out to YouTube, calling YouTube to send me emails, talking about they concerned about my mental health. And then I'm wondering, is it like word curses? Like, are you trying to send something to me? If you people, if y'all don't, okay, I'm not even about to go there. But yeah, no, watch out what you try to send to people, because it will come back on you and it will be worse. But on Wednesday, okay, when was this article? This article was written in May last month, I'm sorry. But on Wednesday, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation released a sobering new finding based on the autopsies of the twins and other evidence. The twins both were unalived by self-harming. That's what they said. Investigators said forensic evidence from the scene showed that both twins had fired the Powell. In addition, their phones' internet history showed searches related to self-harming and how to load a gun. The GBI declined to comment further. The brothers' family members did not respond. To CNN. They didn't respond to CNN. They said they have questions. The family has questions regarding the investigative findings and feel like their final ruling was rushed and closed too soon. The twins had plans for their future and did not own a weapon. That's what the family said. And in interviews before this week, the family told CNN the shocking deaths of the twins have left them struggling to understand and what happened. And the new GBI report still leaves many questions unanswered, especially this one. What would lead two ambitious, promising young men to take their own lives? Then they're talking about the surveillance tape that they found at the gas station. And, it was like they bought snacks at a gas station 12 hours before they were found unalive. On March the 7th, the day before the discovery, when Naazir was going to Boston to visit his girlfriend. Records show that Naazir had a ticket and went to the Atlanta airport but never boarded. The GBI said the family said they spoke to his girlfriend in Massachusetts, who told them he missed his flight and had rescheduled for 7 a.m. on March the 8th. And that was the day they were found unalive. As I'm reading this, just sound weird, man. Much of what happened after that remains unknown. The twin stepmother told other family members she briefly saw the brothers later that day at their home in Atlanta suburb of Lawrenceville, where they live with her and their dad. The twins typically shuttled around in a 2009 black Nissan Altima they jointly bought 2 years ago. The car and their cell phones revealed glimpses into their final hours. The GBI said investigators used cell phone location data to build a timeline of the twins' journey to to Bell Mountains, then check security footage. The family is urging GBI to release the footage publicly. That's what I'm asking. Why all this video you supposedly have, and you know the public, the majority of the public, I don't know if I can say the majority, but a lot of people are interested, especially people in my community, are interested in what happened to these young men, truthfully. Why haven't you released this information? Where are the interviews? Why haven't you interviewed publicly or released public interviews of the girlfriends and the friends? That's the question. The way they are not releasing this information makes people have more questions. A spokesperson for GBI, Nellie Miles, declined to provide additional details pending. Okay, and I have sent emails. The last email I sent to Miles, he has not responded. So maybe I need to reach out to Miles again. Okay. One clue to twins' final hours came from a Shell station about 10 minutes from their house. And they said the twins stopped in. They got some food with the beef jerkies and some other snacks that cost $10.24. And that was at 10 something that night. So the Shell station attendant said he did not remember the twins, but assistant manager Chris Altman said that although he was not working that night, he watched the surveillance video footage of their snack stop before giving it to GBI about 2 weeks after their deaths. One moment on the video stood out. He said the twins had stopped at pump number 8 and the basketball fell out of their car. One of the twins ran to retrieve the ball. And he was just, I guess he's saying that what stood out is the normality of how the twins were acting. You know, they were acting like regular young men. He said that stood out to him, I guess, after finding out what happened to them. And then, you know, he didn't see anything suspicious, like they didn't do anything like, I'm just ascertaining, I'm just, you know, assuming what he meant by that. He didn't see them conducting themselves in a way that, you know, once he found out what happened to him, was like, it made him think like, oh my God, I could tell something weird, strange happening with it. You know, after they got their snacks, the brothers climbed into their car and vanished into the night. Where did they go? This country has too many video cameras set up in the cities and all over town. Why y'all supposedly don't know? Okay. The twins shared a final TV night with their sister. Naazir and Qaadir shared the same room most of their lives. They spent hours playing their favorite video game, Mortal Kombat, and watching anime. They couldn't get enough of, you know, the anime characters. Growing up, they would often storm into the sister's room at the end of the day. Kyrie Powell is older by 6 years, but they treated her like their little sister, she said. They never let me go into the store alone, Powell said. And after school, they would burst into my room and just start talking about their day and ask about mine. Her voice trailed off as her eyes welled up. They used to get on my dang nerves, she added softly. But the siblings were close, even after Powell moved out on her own. The twins stopped by every week. They plopped onto the couch, scrolled through Netflix, and talked about anything and everything, she said. Their visits continued right until the end. On March 5th, ammunition from gun was delivered to the house where the brothers lived, the GBI said. Investigators said Naazir and the older twin had purchased ammunition. On March the 6th, the day before Naazir's planned trip to Boston, the twins spent much of the day with Powell. They accompanied her on a campus tour of the Interactive College of Technology in Chamberlain, another Atlanta suburb. They hung out again that evening at Powell's place in Atlanta, where they watched the animated sitcom Rick and Morty before calling it a night at around 11 o'clock. In their conversations that night, Powell said her brothers wanted to know what she really wanted to do with her life. They asked me, if you didn't have any anxieties and fears, what would you do? Then I told them that I would want to dance because I've always wanted to be a dancer, Powell said, her eyes simmering with tears behind her glasses. They said, you should do that. I really hope that you do that. And that was the last thing they said to me. They dreamed of becoming entrepreneurs when the boys were young. Some relatives could barely tell them apart. That last part, what she said, they asked her and what they, suggested that she did, it almost made me cry. She said they spent a lot of time with her at her home. Always came by checking on her like they were the big brothers to her. Could you imagine how she feels? Those were two of her brothers that loved her so much. They protected her, and she's the older sister. The truth is going to come out. I don't care how much people in their deceitful ways think they can cover things up. But haven't you learned that the truth always comes out? But as they grew older, the family noticed small differences. Naazir had wider eyes. The auntie said, who babysit them as children, he was also more outspoken and louder than his brother. As kids, they dressed alike, but as teens, they opt for different hairstyles, making it easier to tell who was who. Qaadir preferred twists, while Naazir wore braids or a buzz cut. The twins graduated from Collins Hill High School in Suwanee, Georgia in May 23, and were both pursuing their passions at trade schools. And like their eyes and hairstyle, their goals had subtle differences. Qaadir attended an aviation maintenance school and wanted to work on airplanes, while Naazir was studying automotive repair at a technical college. Qaadir was like, Naazir is fixing cars, I'll fix airplanes. That was smart. That was very intellectual. They could have opened up a business, together. Said their aunt. Naazir would work on the Nissan because it would break down all the time. Their ultimate goal was to be entrepreneurs because they had no interest in working for anyone, their aunt said. They were discussing plans to start an athletic clothing line called Overkill, a name they associated with excellence. Like, strive for your future and don't just stop there. Overkill, go for it, go all the way. They also watched a lot of motivational videos on their phones. They were not bare minimum people. They were so career driven, Powell said. Their uncle chuckled as he recalled a time he tried to trick Naazir. When he first saw my Jeep, I kind of lied to him that this is the highest engine, the 395. He was like, bruh, no, it's not. Raheem Browner said he knew cars. Family members retraced the twins' journey to the mountain. On April 27th, 3 aunts and an uncle, all siblings of the twins' biological mom, made a road trip from suburban Atlanta up into the mountains of North Georgia. Unfamiliar with the area, they looked it up before their drive that Sunday morning. They also took the uncle's Jeep to help navigate the winding road up Bell Mountain near the border with North Carolina. Remember, they said that one of the twins always worked on their car, their 2008 Nissan Altima, because it was always breaking down. So would that car have been reliable enough for them to go up that winding road? We wanted to travel the same path they did just to try and figure out that scenario, said Uncle Raheem. I drive a Jeep, and it was hard to get to that mountain. The twins hated long drives. They could barely drive. This is so out of character for them. At the park entrance, they stopped at a yellow barricade near where they believe the Nissan Altima was found. Then they drove the short distance to the summit, past the sign that read, "Warning, steep grade." The top of the mountain contains jagged rocks, some covered in graffiti, and wooden stairs to a platform offering a panoramic view of Lake, okay, I can't say that name, and the Appalachian Mountains. The foursome, Samaria, Yasmin, and Raheem, climbed out of the car and walked around. The family was baffled by the timeline that night. The barricade to the park atop the mountain is supposed to be locked every night from 6 p.m. to 8 a.m. So the twins didn't leave the Lawrenceville gas station until after 10 o'clock p.m. When did they reach the mountain, and how did they get past the gate? "It just doesn't make sense," their uncle said, referring to the remote location. "Too sketchy for them." The tragedy has traumatized the family. A woman who answered the door at the house earlier this month and identified herself as their stepmother, Karine Lewis, told CNN that she and her husband, the twins' father, are still processing the loss. She declined to comment further. The brothers' biological mother is also struggling. Their mother, who lives in Atlanta suburb of Decatur, declined to comment when CNN reached out. "For a lot of our family, it's too much. They are extremely traumatized." Family members have spent the last months trying to untangle the mystery of the twins' final days and how they ended up at Bell Mountain, of all places. Seeking answers, they started a GoFundMe in March in hopes of hiring a private investigator who specializes in homicide and criminal cases. The many unanswered questions on what led to the twins' deaths have only deepened family members' grief. In their recent statement, the family said Naazir's girlfriend told them that Naazir didn't seem depressed and that the two of them were planning a future together and had discussed marriage. Qaadir was pursuing his studies and a dream of owning his own business, the family said. The twins were not suicidal. The twins died a month before their 20th birthdays. The brothers were laid to rest in March in matching coffins at a cemetery. They came into the world together and they left together. They had hoped to go on a tropical cruise from Florida to mark their birthdays in April, but were still going back and forth about the destination in their family group chat, said Shania Brower, a cousin. Family members say they still want to plan a cruise trip to heal together and honor Qaadir and Naazir. Powell, their sister, told CNN she hopes people will remember her brothers not for how they died, but because how they lived. April the 5th, the day the brothers would have turned 20, the family got together again at the twins' mom's house in Decatur, Georgia, for a birthday celebration. They gathered around a cake adorned with the twins' photos surrounded by wavy white frosting. Foil trays brimmed with the brothers' favorite food, chicken wings. People embraced, some wiped away tears. It was our way of keeping them with us, keeping it a happy moment, even with everything going on. And they released white balloons into the sky, shouting, "Happy Heavenly Birthday," to Qaadir and Naazir as they watched them float away higher and higher towards the heavens. Yep. And then getting information from this agency that's telling them something that is possibly not true. Not true because maybe they didn't do intense, thorough investigation, or untrue because it's a cover-up. Can you imagine how they feel? I wouldn't wish that on someone I deeply disliked. that is the end of this article I wanted to bring to you. It's sharing a little more. It goes a little more in depth about their family and the twins than the information I had been seeing. So I can appreciate that. I can appreciate that article. All right, folks. That's it. Thank you for your time and attention and support. And I'll see you guys in the next video. As I said, I was bringing this matter to my subscribers and anyone else who came across these videos because I felt it was very important. I felt it was something that attention need to be brought to it, just in case there is foul play, or even if it's not foul play, which I doubt seriously. But this needed to be brought to the public, folks. And anyone who has a problem with it, you don't have to watch the video. And lastly, if you are truly concerned about me, I really appreciate you. I do, especially in this day and age when people seem like they're not too concerned about anything, really. But I do. I appreciate your concern. But I would like for you, if you're concerned about me, send me an email. Don't reach out. What's that song? Come to me. Emotions. Don't tell my neighbor, or don't ask my neighbor. Hit me up. Send me an email and say, hey, content creator, I just wanted to, reach out, because that will make it, well, it would come off like you're sincere. Anything else, I'm thinking you full of it. Don't be wishing harm on me, pretending like you're caring about me, because I'm trying to tell you folks, y'all gonna get enough of wishing harm on folks. Haven't you noticed that when you wish harm on people, it comes back on you? And it might not come back on you. It might come back on your loved ones. All right, folks. See you guys in the next video. I'm out. Deuces.